Hi, welcome to the quiz feedback session. The objective for this video is to summarize the use and the structure of will, the present continuous, and be going to by explaining the correct answers to the questions from the quiz. So before you watch this video, you should have done the quiz at home, right? If you didn't do it, please go back to classroom platform. So here we go. Number one says, which option is not a function of will? Letter A says arrangement, which is the correct answer. B, decision, C, request, and D, offering. As I said before, arrangement is the correct answer. And why? Look at this. On previous sessions, we have seen the present continuous that you use it for arrangement. This is like the repetition of the same. And then will, you use it with decision, promise, request, offering, refusing, and inevitable result. And what happens with be going to? Question mark, because we are going to see it later. Number two says, which structure of will is grammatically incorrect? So, before that, let's have a look at the example at the top. And this is like the typical example that I give. I play, yo juego, in Spanish. When you want to make it, yo jugaré, okay? I say, I will play. Then, to make it as a question, remember to change the position of the subject and the modal verb. In this case, will I play? That is the question. When you make it negative, you say, I will not play, yo no jugaré, or in parentheses, won't. That is the short form. So let's have a look at the alternatives. Which structure of will is grammatically incorrect? A says positive subject plus will plus base form of the verb. So is that correct? Yeah, absolutely. Letter B says question, will plus subject plus base form of the verb. That is correct. C, negative, subject plus won't plus base form of the verb. That is correct. Incorrect, sorry, correct. So letter D, look at this. Sure answer in the positive. Is that yes, I will, or yes, I will play? Look at this. Yes, I will. So in this case, you do not use the base form of the verb, because what is the objective of the short answers is to be economical, like short. If I ask you, will you play tennis with your sister? Yes, I will. That's it. Okay? So that is the reason that letter D is the correct answer. Let's move on. Why do I give this information? PPT number 1. Look at this part here. Number 2 says use the word probably when you are not sure. And number 3 says we use will with verbs or action such as think, hope, believe, and imagine. And I even give you an example. I think Kate will pass the exam. Remember that. Why do I give that information? Teacher's note. Look at the part, because I use Spanish in this part, and it talks about predictions in the future, and that you commonly use the verbs think, hope, believe, and imagine, and you can also use the adverbs probably, maybe, and perhaps to complement, look at this, to complement a sentence with will. And if you don't remember the meanings, go to wordreference.com. Why do I give this information? Because question number 3 says which words complement the use of will. And then if you look at this, the graphics, it says 40 out of 53 correct answers. That means that some people do not read this information, and actually it is very literal. A says probably, maybe, and perhaps, and that is the correct answer, okay? But some people say letter B, never, usually, sometimes. I can say that you use those expressions with the present simple. Letter C, now, at the moment, and right now. What is that? Present continuous. And just, yet, and already, you use them with the present perfect. So please, people, be careful with that information because the teacher's notes are very important for these classes, okay? Why is that important? Because actually question number 4 was the same. Which verbs complement the use of will in a sentence? And look at that. Only 34 people out of 52 answers are correct. So be careful with that. A says, go play and do. They don't make any sense, actually. In B, I say worked, think, and smile, right? But only I put it in yellow because think is one of the options, one of the correct options. C says offer, request, and decide. But we mentioned that, but they are functions for will. I mean, you can use them in a sentence, but the words that I talk about are letter D, hope, believe, and imagine. And also you use think. They give complement, they emphasize, in this case, a sentence with will. Remember the typical example. Kate will pass the exam, typical prediction. But if I say, I think Kate will pass the exam, right? I give more emphasis to the sentence, to the function that I want to give, okay? So let's continue. Question number 5. Look at the results. 34 people out of 52 correct answers. I think that this question was one of the most difficult ones. Letter A says, those books look heavy. I will help you. Parenthesis, request, requerimiento. Is that correct? Look at that. No, because when you say that I will help you, okay, I take the decision to do it and also a little bit of offering, but the predominant one is decision. I look at the heavy books and then I say, I take the decision, I will help you immediately. A spontaneous decision. Letter B says, thank you for the money. I will pay you back next Friday. Is that an inevitable result? No. Look at that. It is like the typical promise. I will pay you back. It can happen. It cannot happen. Okay? But it is not inevitable. C says he says to his wife that he will be the best husband in the world. In parentheses, refuse. Is that a refuse? Rehusar in Spanish? Absolutely not. Again, it is a promise. It can happen, it cannot happen, okay? But it is not like 100% sure to happen. That means that letter D is the correct one, and the situation says, both of the specials sound really good. First of all, maybe you don't know what a special is. In this case, it refers to food, okay? Why do I show you this picture? Because I love that movie. And Kronk, in this case, he has his empanadas de pollo, right? And in this situation, it says, but I think I will have the chicken. In this situation, the situation of the specials, the food, Cusco could say that, I think I will have the chicken. In this moment, I take the decision to do it. So that is the reason why letter D is the correct answer. Let's move on. PPT number 2 from the classroom platform. If you remember what you did, it was to analyze the differences between present continuous and be going to. We look at the text and we circle and we underline. If you did it, you shouldn't have problems with the next questions. Present continuous. It has positive form, subject plus to be, plus the verb in the ing. And remember that to be and is and are, right? Versus be going to. Positive form, subject to be plus going to. Remember that going to is something like voy a in Spanish, plus the base form of the verb. Be careful with that. Are the structures similar in the present continuous and be going to? So. You can see some similarities. But let's have a look at some examples. Anne is doing her homework. Present continuous. And subject is to be, verb in the ing doing. Anne está haciendo in this case. Then, question, is Anne doing her homework? You change the position of to be and the subject. Negative, Anne is not doing her homework. Short answers, yes she is, no she isn't. So let's have a look at the opposite. Very similar example. Anne is going to do her homework. Or in Spanish, ella va a hacer su tarea. Listen to that. Va a hacer, to do. There is a going to, obligatory, plus another verb, action, do. Remember that. Question, is Anne going to do her homework? Negative, Anne is not going to do her homework. Short answers, yes she is, no she isn't. So you can see very similarities in this case. For example, the short answer form is absolutely the same, but we are going to see the differences between present continuous and be going to. Let's have a look at the next question and you are going to understand. Number 6 says, which example corresponds to the present continuous? A says, they aren't going to do anything tomorrow. Is that present continuous or be going to? Be going to, because you can see going to plus an action. In this case, I'm going to point it out, do, right? B says, I'm going to sit in the school chair. Be going to or present continuous? Be going to, because you can see the action, sit. Letter C, is Kayla going to the hospital? You can see that that is the correct answer because it is the present continuous. The important thing in this part, people, is to look at what is after the word going to. It says the hospital. Is that an action? Is that a verb? Yes or no? No. And we are going to see what is like the specific difference in this part. Obviously, letter D is also be going to, because you can see going to plus an action, have, okay? But now, if you didn't understand, I'm gonna show you this again. It says present continuous, subject to be, verb in the ing, plus a preposition / noun, sustantivo, okay? Then Kayla is going to the hospital. You can see like ella está yendo al hospital. Está yendo. Remember that that is ing. Is Kayla going to the hospital? It continues like the same. Negative form, short answer. But the opposite. Look at that. Kayla is going to visit her mom. Ella va a visitar a su mamá, in this case. Va a visitar. I put it this part in green because it is what makes the difference between be going to and the present continuous. Look at that. Visit, base form of the verb, versus the hospital. In this case, there is a preposition before, to, right? And before the noun, there is a determiner, but the important thing is that you don't have an action after going to. So that is one of the most specific differences when the action actually is going. But if you look at next question, the results are like better than the previous one because you could identify other actions. Look at this. Which examples corresponds to be going to? And A is the correct answer because it says, when are you going to play tennis? Action after going to play tennis, okay? B, what are you eating now, right? That is present continuous because you can see obviously action in the ing form, which is not going, right? C, it was curious that 22% of the people answer this question or answer this alternative, but it is present continuous. Why? Look at this. It says going out. Is out an action? No. In this case, it is a preposition. But if it is not a verb, then it goes to the other category. Letter D says, I'm not getting up until 9 a.m. like coronavirus times. In my case, I get up at, let's say, 8:30, okay? But, well, it doesn't matter. Up, is that action or preposition? It is a preposition. So that is the reason that it is present continuous. I hope that you understood the differences. If not, please email me and I have no problem to explain this again. But please, I hope that you understood. Last question. Before that, PPT number 3. We saw the differences between will and the present continuous. I put this situation about the lunch with the sister at 12:30, and I will call Nathan now, blah, 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 blah. Why do I put this information? Because in the final question, number 8, in the following situation, which functions for the future can you identify? Oh no, I've just remembered that I'm having lunch with my sister at 12:30. I will call Nathan now. It is exactly the same situation. So 41 out of 53 people have the correct answer, and that is good because I use the same information, the same context for this question. What is important? The words in yellow, I'm having lunch with my sister at 12:30, which is present continuous. And the present continuous is or are plus the verb in the ing means that it is an arrangement. This is like immediately. If you remember, present continuous, plans, synonym of arrangement. And then you have the correct answer. Then I will call Nathan now. It is a spontaneous decision that this person had in that moment. I have this problem, I will call Nathan now. That is my decision, and for that reason you use will. Okay? The other alternatives, actually, they are all related to will. Inevitable result, promise, offering, request, refuse, prediction with present evidence, they are all related to will. So what is the conclusion in this part? And I'm going to put this. I can say that the function in this case corresponds to the grammatical tense, or the other way around, the grammatical tense, there is a corresponding function always with the present continuous arrangements, always. Will, decision, promise, request, offering, refusing, an inevitable result. But what happens with be going to? That is for next class, okay? Because now probably you have a lot of information in your heads. In the structures, we talk about positive, negative questions and short answers, okay? So that is like the most important conclusions for today. I hope that you understood the feedback. On the platform, I will give the PPT with the explanations in Spanish if you have problems, okay? So, bye, see you later.